Yeah, my tell my coach, man, welcome back. Morning, hey dog. I just had to take my time off today. I've been out the past in a couple days, man. I just wanted to just rest at home, just do my thing. I gotta just keep up with this process of just scheduling my content. I got a lot of series. Go check it out on YouTube. Check about official TikTok. Hey dog, check about official 7. I got Brown Boy BTS 7, which is behind the scene. Hey dog. And also, Brown Boy the Cure. For me, in this video, I gotta just talk about the presidents of the United States of America, a dog, because I gotta talk about them, because you know, um, you know, hey man, being a British American, like for me, I gotta just talk about the hate that the presidents get, a dog. I probably get the same type of hate, a dog. For me, I think Donald Trump, especially with this whole Iran matter, was popping off in the Middle East, a dog. Donald Trump's getting a lot of hate, bruh. Man, the man getting a lot of hate, bro. Like, let's get the air guitars out for that, bro. Let me talk about this, man. I'm saying Donald Trump, I think probably is like, and I'm not saying this because like I'm trying to kiss ass. Nah, bro. I'm talking truth, man, dog. I think Donald Trump, is probably one of the great presidents of this modern era, what I'm saying, with Barack Obama, a dog, two in their own leagues, a dog. But for me, I gotta talk about this, man, because presidents, like our presidents, like get a lot of hate, man, from a lot of countries that follow dogmatic dictatorship. They follow regimes that are built on hate, and they are closed off to the democratic value that upholds democracy, a dog. I think the Constitution of the U.S., a dog, like because Jacob Brown's British American, a dog, talks a lot about the democracy. So I just want to be able to talk to my community and talk about why presidents such as George Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, even though they are probably from a different political party, they all important towards the common cause, which is a safer planet. Why is it important, like to really look at the values of U.S. democracy or UK democracy or the Western democracy, and use it as a compass to focus on what's really important, especially like for me, I gotta talk about this. So why do presidents of the United States get hated? I gotta be honest, man. I gotta talk about this because I think it's important, especially like Jacob Brown, upholds the democratic value. I think if human rights, a dog, the first article, when it comes to human rights in the UK, human rights in the US. I'm in London right now. Human rights, international human rights, or United Nations Human Rights Council, a dog. They got their human rights, but the main article is right to life. And a lot of Western countries, all Western countries, right, dog, uphold the right to life, which is important for a person's survival. So I think United States of America, upholds that. I mean, you go to the country, there's a lot of people from a lot of countries that's that has a life, to build in United States of America or the UK. But let me talk about this. Why, presidents of the United States of America get hated by strict cultures, strict religions, regimes, dictatorship, and why, they're always gonna be the enemy to a baseless propaganda of countries that lacks democracy, lacks meaning, lacks future perspective for their population, and how it's a troublesome experience for the people that reside there, right? Let me talk about this, eh? Hey dog, like my homie, my trauma culture. Let me just talk to you about this, hey dog. Like those people out there are supporting like Iran movement, like with this whole protecting the Middle East, hey dog. Let me ask you something, and especially if you're from a Western country, like say you're from the UK or you're from, it's not about taking sides, but it's about taking sides. Hey, were you fighting for dictatorship or democracy? A stupidity regime that's built on dogmatic beliefs, dogmatic religious values that is outdated, is backwards, or would you choose a values that has democracy, which respects everybody's opinion, dog? You know what I'm saying? I mean, United States of America, where I'm from, is a great country, dog. I mean, like the UK is a great country, has democracy, man. There's human rights. You know what I'm saying? For me, the reason why a lot of presidents, from the United States of America, especially Donald Trump, man, he's doing some great work. I'm not trying to kiss ass to Donald Trump. It's not about that. But I'm just trying to look at this from a educated opinion with critical thinking, also with to talk about with logical reason, dog. I mean, look, listen, those people out there trying to support this whole country regime up, what's popping up in Iran, dog. Let me talk about this, or Iran, or any other countries in the Middle East, or any countries that holds dictatorship, the political parties or leaders, or the the prime ministers, or whoever runs a country has been chosen by a group of leaders in that country that have nothing for the people to gain, but like for them to create abundance within the political framework, but the citizens of those country are left starving, and it's a problem. You know what I'm saying, I think that's those countries that has a dictatorship. For me, like, I gotta just talk about why presidents of the United States, from Barack Obama to Trump to George Bush, dog, why all of them get hated on. And I think it's important they get hated on because I gotta just be honest, man, they get hated on because they promote what do they promote, dog? They promote democracy. When I say democracy, I'm talking about promoting democracy with being in a great country like the United States of America, dog, or the UK. I gotta bring the UK because I'm in London, dog. But let's talk about the US. For me, like, I think democracy is important, but the US presidents, always promote democracy, because I think it's the values of democracy that upholds the public to express oneself in a country that has a lot of people from different countries, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I had a great opportunity a while back to talk to someone who was actually from Iran. He's Iranian. He's actually from the States. This was in I think this was like in Amsterdam. Like, I was just in a coffee shop, and I was just out there and talking to a couple of shawties, dog, and then literally this person pulls up with this group of friends, dog. I was like, are you from, dog? And he was, I'm from the States, dog. I was talking to him, and we just had a conversation about Iran, where he's from, and but he's American, he's from the States, dog. And he goes, hey bro, like, and I asked him, what's your opinion, dog? And he goes, bro, like, I'm from, he was born in United States of America, but he's Iranian, dog. But he goes, bro, like, what goes on in my country is just a lot of nonsense, dog, because he knows the type of stuff that's going on, especially with this whole Middle East stuff, dog. For him, he goes, like, because he was he was brought up in the States, he goes, hey bro, like, so I asked him, like, would you go and live in Iran? And he goes, nah bro, like, I took myself a vacation, dog, a holiday, and I pulled up there, and it was too strict for me, dog. There's a lot of dictatorship. He's Iranian. He's telling me this, but he was born. His family was there. I think his forefathers went to America, but he was talking to me about this, and he goes, "Hey, dog, like, I went to this place called Rain, and he's Iranian, and he was telling me, he goes, hey bro, when he went there, apparently everything's strict. A lot of judgment. You can't even like certain spots smoke a cigarette. Like I think alcohol is not allowed. You have to do it like behind the scenes, like out of like people's faces, dog. So I asked him, I was like, so would you have if you had the opportunity to have all the money in the world, would you go back to Iran? And he goes, nah, dog, I can never live there. And I was like, why, bro? He goes, bro, like he goes, that country, which is his country, right? He goes, my country is built on dictatorship, is a religious regime that's built up on dogma, a lot of dogmatic religious belief, and a lot of time there's a lot of unlawful killings, murders, and there's a track records of women's rights. So I was talking, and then this homie like I was talking to was like, hey bro, like he's Iranian, like he's American, he's from America, dog. He goes, hey bro, like I can never live in back in my country, and I was like, I can understand that, bro. Like when he goes, hey dog, like for me, like I think there's a lot of there'll be a lot of missed opportunities because a lot of things that you take for granted in the States or in a Western democracy, those things can be performed there. Example, you can't drink there, or you can't do some certain things, or you can't even go talk to a shawty, bro. Imagine this, like all these people out there like not trying to bring the Sharia law in, a dog. Like in the UK, a dog, there's a lot of people coming up trying to bring the Sharia law. You know what the Sharia law is, bro? It's like a Islamic nonsense where they want to just tell people what to do and tell, Caucasian white shawties, bro, like, white females to cover up, a dog. We ain't having that, a dog. For me, I think democracy is important. I think for me, like, you gotta just be able to accept the differences of everybody's just living here, bro. I'm saying, but for me, when I was talking to this Iranian person who's actually from America, like he was born in the States, a dog, he goes, hey bro, like I would never live there. For me, I can never go to Iran, and be able to live there for a long time, because it's just a total opposite of his upbringing. And also there's a lot of democratic values that Iran can never uphold, because it's a dictatorship regime. Like they gotta follow a religious strict regime that's built on like dogmatic nonsense, dog. So though I'm trying to just talk about this, why great leaders like the presidents of the United States, why they important for why they important for the future, and how even though they might be hated, they might be disliked, they might not be loved by the public, why they are a important tool for the safety, the well-being, and also the safeguarding of the world. I'm talking about the president of the United States, a dog, especially Donald Trump. He's helping the world stay away, a dog, from disorder, chaos, anarchy, and also terrorism. Like I'm saying, I think it's important. So when George Bush came into power, like he went to Iraq, like because of like Saddam Hussein, a dog. Like Saddam Hussein, like apparently had this vision of like taking the entire Middle East, like the States, and he wanted to control everybody. I'm saying, and I think he had this Nazi outlook perspective regime, a dog. And the issue was like Saddam Hussein killed a lot of people, man. I'm saying, I mean, he had a history of like massacring like communities, a lot of people that opposed him. And so when George Bush sent the troops, like the United States military, a dog, like the army, to Iraq, there was a lot of backlash. A lot of people had something to say, a dog. But for me, I gotta just talk about it, a homie. For me, like I gotta just hey bro, like let me just break it down to you. George Bush probably did one of the most greatest thing in helping aid the safety for citizens of United States of America. Not just that, a dog. Probably, the safety of the entire world, a dog. I mean, I think Israel get talked about being the enemy of Middle East, a dog, but Israel has stopped a lot of terrorist, work and networks within them regions who could, invade into Europe, probably into the States or any place in the world, a dog. They put a stop to it, a dog. You know what I'm saying? And I think Israel, as a country, like I think Benjamin Netanyahu might not be liked, but I think he brings a lot of value in safety, safeguarding, not just the region, but the world, a dog. Nobody wants another 9/11, a dog. You know what I'm saying? The Twin Towers, we don't want that. So Donald Trump, so George Bush, when he came into power, like, he was not liked, but for me, I think he did a great job. He let, a lot of people really see the consequences of, action like the 9/11, right? Where over a couple thousand people died. It was two towers, a dog, and he was not liked by majority of the public outside of the United States of America, because he did what he had to do to protect his people, a dog. I think a lot of people might disagree with me, bro. Like, for me, I think it's always about national security, a dog. Like, I think it's important, and I think George Bush, like, probably took a action that probably gonna go in history as probably one of the best actions to take. The reason why them regions, the Middle Eastern regions, are monitored continuously, a dog, because there are always a threat. Which I'm saying, and I think George Bush done a great job. I mean, after him or before him, like, he stopped Saddam Hussein, a dog. They found him. That was great. I'm saying, a dog. I think you can never, have a region that's always in chaos. For me, I'm like, a dog. Like, you can never have a region that is always in a chaos, anarchy, disorder, and then have conflicts with neighboring countries. You know what I'm saying? I think at the time when George Bush came, there was a lot of tension with regions in other country outside of the Middle East, a dog. So for me, I think George Bush done a great job, even though he is looked as the devil, a dog. I mean, he brought in a lot of security, a lot of safety, a lot of reassurance that United States of America or the Western democracy always gonna have its place in the world, in comparison to countries that are built on dictatorship and secret, unhidden murders and unlawful killings of citizens within the public, for standing up to say, hey, this is a dictatorship or regime and we gotta stop. I mean, see all the unlawful killings with women's human rights, a dog, in Iran, other countries, a dog. So I think Trump is doing a great job, a dog. But George Bush came up and set the standard, the example that's important, upholding the United States of America's values, and to show that democracy is important in any country, even if it's a religious country, dog. I think it's important, and I gotta talk about it. So for me, I think Barack Obama came up and he done a great job as well. He really questioned things that's going on in Asia, like field of sports. I think he played a major role, and for me, I gotta make a video to talk about Barack Obama in another video where I'm gonna be talking about Donald Trump. So Donald Trump now, with this whole matters that's going on in the world with, like, Iran and all these Middle Eastern countries, with the conflicts in Israel, and he's got to media and see what's popping, a dog. I think he's doing a great job. So Donald Trump is doing a great job, a dog. I mean, United States of America probably is one of the most important government in mediating a lot of terrorist network, a dog. Like, I think there is a lot of countries like that's in the world that their whole protocol for dominance. So I think over countries like United States of America or like the UK or like it's violence, it's unlawful killings, invasions, and the networks of terrorism, dog. And I think Donald Trump, like, his last time at office, man, he done a great job, and he got a lot of backlash for some of his decisions. And I think a lot of time it was a lot of people that did not see the bigger picture, bro. Imagine if there was no authority like presidents and governments looking after national security, dog. Like, I mean, if you're watching this content from any country, like, your country that you're watching this from, probably not from Europe, if you're watching this from, like, South America, Central America, or like, dog, Asia, Australasia, Africa, their governments, dog, there's going to be a lot of anarchy, chaos, there's going to be a lot of disorder. For me, from my take, is that Donald Trump, George Bush, Barack Obama, any president that come into power, even Joe Biden, dog, a lot of them is going to be talked down upon, especially Donald Trump, with this whole recent move of mediating the whole nonsense in the Middle East. I mean, look, listen, these are dictators that run countries such as Iran. You got, Afghanistan, dog. Like, that's a problematic region, dog. There's always been wars in Afghanistan, dog. The people are, for me, illiterate. They are uneducated with when it comes to democracy. I mean, in Afghanistan, like, the whole thing of not sending daughters and females to go get an education, dog. Like, there was this thing going on. I think United States of America, when they went to Afghanistan, it was like important because there was a lot of terrorist network that was working in them regions. Like, I mean, the issue is the Taliban. Like, there's a Taliban government now. Man, like, in Afghanistan, when the United States of America went down there, dog, they were trying to mediate a lot of tension with the region, because there was a network of criminal network, dog. I mean, if you go to regions such as Peshawar, it's like known place for terrorist network to lurk around. I mean, you got the whole 9/11, and you got Osama bin Laden, staying in Afghanistan. Like, them regions, dog. Them places got to be covered, because there was a network of terrorists that was there that posed a threat for national security, but like global security, dog. I'm not talking about just one country or the West or Europe. I'm talking about every country that's non-Muslim, like Islamic, like Islamic faith, Christian countries, dog, Hindu countries. I'm talking about countries that are Buddha country. I mean, Sri Lanka, I'm Southeast Asian, dog. It's a Buddha country. There was a bombing in a church during Easter Sunday, I think. It was during Easter, like in year 2019, I guess. I think, dog. I'm Sri Lankan Tamil though, dog. So there's been a lot of struggle with presidents trying to mediate a lot of terrorist networks, not just in Middle East, but just around the world, dog. And they just point back to one faith, which is the Islamic faith, dog, is dogmatic. I don't care what you believe in, dog, but we gotta just make sure that the world is safe for everybody to use, not just one religious group to take control of what's beautiful with the beauty of the world and the differences in many people's faith and religion, dog. I think it's important. But hear me out, I gotta finish this off, dog. But Donald Trump get looked upon like as the Antichrist, the devil of the West, dog. But for me, I think his last presidency, dog, like, and also his last time in office till now, when he came back after Joe Biden, dog. I think he done a great job. Like, he's still doing a great job. I think when you're the president of the United States and a lot of eyes on you for national security, global security, like you're gonna get hated on, bro. Like I mean, the people that's doing a lot of hating on Donald Trump get hated on, dog. Like the only reason, and the people that's doing all this hating and bum ass, dead ass, beat ass, or like, you know, hating ass, like haters, naysayers from country that has dictatorship. I'm saying, I mean, imagine like the whole perspective of, like, in the UK, there's actually you know, communities within you know, the Islamic faith. They want to bring Sharia law into the UK. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you're gonna have a lot of trouble trying to do that stuff here, dog. Like, because I'm a Christian, dog. I don't care what religion someone practice. If you want to go practice your religion in any country, there's democracy, there's human rights, dog. Go do what you gotta do. I'm saying, but I can never understand how, you know, people come from countries that has a bad track records of human rights, dog. I'm talking about women's human rights, just human rights in general. There's a lot of cruelty. There's a lot of unlawful killings, dictatorship, kidnapping, abductions, history of like mass murders of communities in them countries that are dictatorship countries. They come to the Western democracy, and these people bring all that garbage, this trash, this garbage here, and after like a couple years or like a decade or two, like, hey, bro, they want to now bring Sharia law into a beautiful country like the Great Britain, or like country like United States of America. There's actually these talkers, like these speakers, like these preachers for, you know, of the faith, of their faith, openly saying in during conferences or talks with their community, like I'm talking about the Muslim imams, like of like mosques, talking about bringing Sharia law into a Western democracy, dog. It never gonna work, because what democracy stands for and what Sharia law is, bro, is two different things, dog. One tells to hurt people, stone a woman, kill people. The other one talks about saving lives, which is democracy, dog. So democracy upholds any person's belief, regardless of what faith you are. It doesn't matter if you are watching this content and you're a Muslim, you're living in a Western society, dog. Democracy upholds people's opinions, upholds people's belief. They can practice their religion in peace and coexist with everybody. But dictatorship, they won't need to follow this regime. And if the moment that you say, hey, nah, I ain't gonna follow your nonsense, dog, I'm gonna leave the country, they're gonna unalive you. That's what happens, dog. Unlawful killings and murders. For me, like, I think it's important. Dog, you gotta see the truth for what it is, dog. Like, you know, for me, like, I had talked with people from like countries, Canada. Like, I talked to people from like the Middle East region, dog. When I was on my travels, dog. I gotta be honest, man. Them homies are like, we never go live back in our country, but half the stuff that we do in Canada that's legal is not legal in them countries, dog. And that's the problem with dictatorship. It's built on dogmatic values, and it's it's a selfish government, dictatorship governments, dog. For me, like, I gotta just keep this rule, man. Like, I think Donald Trump, like, is doing a great job. Like, I think a lot of people see him as the bad person, but I mean, we gotta just realize the long-term perspective when it comes to world safety, global security, like away from chaos, disorder, anarchy, and you know, create a world that is gonna live on sustainability, dog. It's important. Like, imagine, like, you know, the 9/11 happening every year, but that's like economical collapse, dog. Like, a lot of things will be struck off, like financially, dog, to build the buildings again, resources. I'm saying, so for me, I think Donald Trump is doing a great job. I think if you're a world superpower like the UK or United States of America, a dog, or you can take like Israel up in Middle East, a dog, always gonna be the villain in a lot of people's stories, especially when they come from dictatorship country or a regime or from a set of dogmatic belief that does not uphold democracy, freedom, liberty, values of self-expression, opinions, happiness. Everything derives from their ignorance to what's important, man. Is just to coexist with a lot of people from many cultures and religion, which a lot of these dictatorship country that has dogmatic values can never do. So I think Donald Trump's doing a great job. I think a lot of people might hate his guts, I hate his ass, like Donald Trump, man. He's just like trying to be the president of the United States to, he's the devil, the villain. Hey, bro, like sometimes when you're trying to do great work, hey, dog, especially when you're the president of the United States, you gotta be hated, bro. Like, a lot of eyes on you, a lot of countries that don't like the presidents, and it's just how it is, hey, man. So for me, like George Bush done a great job, Barack Obama done a great job, Joe Biden done a great job, Donald Trump's done a great job. I think all presidents have, done something great towards national security for, our country, which is the United States of America, a dog. I think the Pentagon, the FBI, the CIA is important not just for national security, a dog. I'm talking about global security, a dog. I think a lot of countries that disagree, a lot of Western democracy or countries, they can't see the bigger picture of how countries such as the United States of America, a dog, like, and UK, and even like Brussels, you got like, the European Commission, a dog, with Ursula von der Leyen, United Nations, they all play a larger role in keeping the world safe, bro. Like, I think it's important, and a lot of people miss out, and a lot of people gotta have opinions about the president of the United States, a dog, because they trying to just see progress, growth, sustainability, safety from a global, worldly perspective, and sometimes you gotta be hated for doing what's important, which is what, a dog, is to keep away from my three words: keep away from chaos, disorder, anarchy, a dog. And that's important. So Donald Trump will be not liked, but then he gotta do his job, man. Sometimes doing great work look a lot like a lot of people not liking what you're doing. That's life, hey, man. I gotta get it, bro. Shout out to all my community. I just wanted to share this stuff, man. Go think about it, and if you got questions, just come back, watch my content, because a lot of stuff I said, bro, like, stems on human rights, and all the articles of human rights, but just the safety of global security. That's it. Alright, man, I gotta get it, bro. Peace and love.